Hi, my name is Terry Kimball. I'm President and CEO here at the Chandler Chamber. And today I have with me Claudia Mendoza running. She is running for the Chandler Unified School District Governing Board. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Claudia, tell me why you want to run for governing board.
I've been a lifelong educator. I started as a teacher. Before I even had my kids. I was a reading coach. I was a coach that was supporting teachers with their endorsements on English language learning. And so I feel that from the get-go, education obviously was my calling, is my calling. I've been a principal for the past 13 years. This is my 13th year. I am a principal in the Mesa Public Schools right now. But, the biggest thing I think for me is as a mom, my babies started at Santan Elementary in kindergarten. And like every mom worries and concerns, but at the same time, I just was so excited and felt so good about the Chandler School District in general. We had done some research, just as every young couple does, right? And we ended up moving here for that reason. And so as I've kind of gone through the years in education, I've realized just how important all stakeholders are. So obviously I bring my expertise as a leader, as an educational leader, but I also bring my expertise as a mom, as a Chandler Unified mom from K through 12. And I could tell you that my mama heart is happy. I just always feel so proud to not only be a resident here, but also knowing that Chandler Unified School District did an amazing job preparing my kids. I have twins. They're 22. My daughter just graduated from ASU. My son will graduate this next year in engineering. And so really, I think in a nutshell, I want to give back, but also I bring my passion. I bring my heart. I'm in this for the kiddos, for the education, and just for improving, continuing that improvement, right? I feel like my philosophy as an educator and as a principal and as a mom, as a human, is to just continuously improve. That's all that we can do. So I think that's probably in a nutshell, maybe a bigger nutshell, right? But that's why I want to run, or that's why I'm running.
So let's talk a little bit about what do you feel are some of Chandler Unified School District's biggest challenges that they're facing within the next couple of years?
I think the challenges for every educator, for every school system started when we had the COVID. With that said, though, I do really strongly believe that the districts that were able to pivot and kind of think fast and were prepared with technology, but also a system, right? Obviously, it has to be very well organized. It took a little bit, but I think when you have that at the foundation of your school district, you're able to pivot just fine. My babies were seniors when that happened. And so I think they learned a lot. Chandler Unified learned a lot through that, and I actually feel that is probably one of the biggest reasons that we, we were very successful through. There were bumps, there were hiccups, like every district, all of us, right? As we went through that. But I think right now, the biggest thing that came from that, I believe, is mental health, right? Like making sure that all of our children, not only are they prepared academically, but also are they well-rounded? Do they feel safe when they come to school? Do they feel prepared to come in and take that little risk that we all, as educators, we want students to be able to come and take a little risk with what we're asking them to try or think outside the box or whatever it may be. But I think when we ask them to take those risks, we know that we're laying a nice foundation for them right over the years. So I think the biggest challenge probably would be kind of pivoting after the COVID, after COVID, and then kind of taking notice of each of the different, areas that we needed to pay attention to or that they needed to pay attention. And the reason I say we is because I think as educators, we have kind of that same framework, but making sure that our kids feel safe, making sure that our rigor can continue the way that it was before.
Great. So the Chandler Chamber here represents about 172,000 employees here within Chandler. And how will you foster a positive relationship with the Chandler Chamber if elected?
Well, I think, every member of the community is important, right? Obviously, for me, the center is education and the Chandler Unified School District, but as a human, right? That's what I've chosen to do with my life. And so I think that it's also, but as part of that, it's so important to be able to foster relationships with everyone within our community, right? This is a perfect example, like, partnering with the chamber could look the same, but at the same time a little different, and in every grade level, right? I'm an elementary school principal, but I've been a principal K through 12, so I know the different needs. I know that there is a way to pull in and collaborate to ensure that our goals are aligning, right? It makes sense that we're all working towards the same thing, and that really, to me, is ensuring that our students are prepared, and not only academically, but also socially, collaboratively, right? Or do they know how to collaborate with others? So I think it's a little bit of all of that, right? But I think that just having that partnership and knowing that we as a school district can count on you all, and then vice versa, right? Ensuring that you know that you can come to any one of our schools and that we're going to work together for the betterment of not only our students, obviously they're the center of everything we do because they are the future, but also our community at large. So
Great. So stepping from a principal role to governing board member is different. How do you feel that you have adequately prepared to run for a governing board position?
Well, I think my experience in education, I think, is a big benefit, right? My experience as a Chandler mom, watching my children go through K-12 and knowing where we had the little speed bumps, being ready and kind of proactive with some of those things that I know, firsthand as a parent. But also, I think then just, and I'm doing research and I'm learning I'm a lifelong learner, right? We all like to think of ourselves as that. I'm definitely learning a lot on policy, learning a lot on budget, right? I'm taking, Bond 101 that I'm just creating for myself I really want to try to educate myself in all of those areas. I do have experience in policy as well as in budget as a principal, but of course it's going to be different at the school board level, right? I'm currently actually almost finished with my doctorate as well, and I have been learning so much, even through that. I just got done with school law, a course that I had to take, and so I had to write a lot of papers and do a lot of research, and so I think it's just a win-win-win. It makes sense for me with where I am in my career. I actually can retire, within the next few months. But I'm not going to, right? I have so much more to give, so much more to learn, and so much more to continue improving on.
Great. So let's talk a little bit. You talked a little bit about community partnership. How would you prioritize and advocate for community partnerships to help strengthen Chandler's overall workforce pipeline?
The biggest thing I think is preparing students young to have that capability of collaborating with their peers, but then also building their foundation so that they are able to come out in the community and collaborate as well with projects or whatever it may be, right? But I do think that especially as they start to move into junior high and high school, they start to find their way to whatever it is that is a passion for them. I think in this day and age, most every student that you talk with loves technology, is on technology, is so savvy, right? They're teaching us a thing or two every day. And so I think that we need to be able to spin that passion that our students right now that are kind of going through our school system have, and show them like what are all the capabilities with that, right? So bring in intel. I actually, in my position last year, with ASU Prep Academy, we were very much an innovative technology, school. And so we collaborated with Intel, brought them into the classroom to teach our kinder, first, second graders about supply chain management, right? And that was due to a collaboration that we were able to foster with Intel, right? I know microchip, and it's not just all of the technology, but also, some of the humanities within our city. But I think if we're able to just hone in on some of those, bring the community into our schools, but also bring our schools out into the community to learn, to continue learning, to partnering with professionals that are actually in the business of whatever it is the kiddos are interested in. So whether it be STEM, anything in STEM, or whether it be, again, like I said, the humanities, bring them into the library, expose them to all of the different things that make our community function well.
Great. So what do you believe is Chandler Unified School District's greatest strength? Or greatest strength is one part of it, and then a weakness or an area for improvement?
So a strength I feel like from what I have seen as a parent and even as I continue to see within my community, is their desire to continue innovating, right? Their desire to continue searching for that best teaching practices. What do those look like now? Are they different? Are they the same? Can we build on those, right? So I think ensuring that teachers feel confident, and that's one of my big stances as well, right, in my campaign, is ensuring that we're able to continue providing that support and those resources for our teachers, because if we can really teach them to thrive as lifelong learners, right, then they're going to feel confident about whether it be the new curriculum or whatever it may be. So I think that they're doing that very nicely. The innovation piece, I know that, we want to make sure that we can personalize education for every student. I hear those words all the time. I've been attending board meetings, and those are some of the things that I'm hearing. I've also been so impressed with just their organization. They're a big, entity. And for their that makes all the difference in the world, right? You can prepare and you can educate, but you have to be organized. There has to be a system. There has to be a process. And I feel like they've listened to some of the things that maybe were hiccups in the past, which will go into the next question that you said, how can we continue building on that, or what, things do they need? I think just continue being open to learning, and taking those risks sometimes. I think even as a school district, we have to take small risks in order to ensure that we can continue moving forward. If we decide, okay, that maybe wasn't the best way to approach it, let's talk about it, let's regroup, and let's try it again. I find myself very aligned with that, because I think as a leader, that's the way I lead. I don't ever claim perfection, right? Because there's no such thing. But I think what's important is reflection. So like when I go in to observe teachers, I always say, please do not worry. I don't expect perfection, but I do expect reflection, because that's what's going to continue helping each of us continue improving. So I think that that's my perspective when it comes to strengths as well as weaknesses, right? Just continue learning and having that open and growth mindset to know that we can do that and we can accomplish it.
Great. So if elected, what is going to be your number one priority after taking office?
I think for me, what I've noticed as a principal, the biggest setback, if that's what you want to call it, as we go in the day-to-day, is just the ability for children, students to get along with each other, even if they don't agree. So I do think that continuing to provide support with counselors, with social workers, hiring leaders that can really embrace that, right? So some of those things are probably going to be top on my list, because I know firsthand that they can help the smallest little thing, what might seem small to other people, outside of education maybe even, can really make the difference in the way they say, make or break us, but that can be a big determining factor. Right now, I think the importance too is embracing diversity, ensuring that every student feels safe when they're in school, regardless of what, diverse background they come from or their parents come from. We want to make sure that everyone knows that they're welcome, and just creating that type of culture at every school, right? And at the district office, I do think it's there, but there's always way to continue improving. So I think some of those things, and I think because they're near and dear to my heart, I know they can make a difference. And then once people are comfortable, right? Small risks are okay. We want students to take that risk, and a little struggle is okay too. That's learning, right? But for us to show and model and mentor that for our students as adults within the community, I think will speak volumes too. Lastly too is I think just training for teachers to ensure that they have the tools that they need in order to have a conversation with somebody that maybe they don't feel they know enough about, or they don't really understand maybe the culture and how do you best approach, or how can you best reach certain diverse backgrounds again. So I think those are some of my priorities.
Great. So I know that we've had a short amount of time and we've kind of been all over on some of the questions, but is there anything else you want the Chandler voters to know about you, or what sets you apart, makes you different, that they need to vote for you?
I think what has made me successful over the years as an educator, as a school leader, as a community member, is my ability to pivot, right? To have that flexibility, but also my ability to continue learning and to continue becoming a better person, right? And so as I move into this new role, I know there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I think the biggest thing that I'd love for our community to know, if you don't know me already, right? I think people who know me know I'm gonna do this with heart, right? And sometimes I feel like that makes a difference. I don't have an agenda. I don't have, my only agenda are our students, our teachers, our administrators, our community at large, and being able to play nice in the sandbox with everyone, right? And that includes our community. That includes you all. You guys do such amazing things too to support us. And so I just want to be able to bring that to the table, and knowing that I really don't have a hidden agenda. My agenda are the students and their well-being overall, right? Continuing to provide that rigorous education for them so that they're ready not only just to get to college, but to get through college, or to find their craft, to find their area, their passion, right? And to go and become experts in that area so that then they can turn around and give back to our community.
Great, very well said. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Claudia Mendoza is a candidate for Chandler Unified School District Governing Board.